Hello friends, welcome back to a new episode of Noobs in Disguise. As always, I'm joined by Lambo, and today we have his favorite matchup as we're in a Zerg versus Zerg. What's up, Lambo?
Hello, very excited to see what you think is my favorite matchup. Definitely not my favorite matchup, but top 3 to cast at least. After ZVP and ZVT. It's still better than any of the non-Zerg matchups. To be fair, TVP getting close as well. So yeah, very excited.
I wasn't laughing at your great joke. I was laughing at the double overlord.
Oh no.
This is becoming a classic. Just weird overlord timings that are obviously incorrect. I love that he collected both of them as well and then sent them out at the same time into different locations.
Yeah,
this is so good. This is an Age of Empires player.
You know what he's doing? This guy lost too many times against 13-12. He's checking for all the paths on the map, and he's going pool first. So there's absolutely no way he's missing any links.
No link passes him by, unless they go to the right side.
He should have made 3 overlords before the Ash.
A rookie move. Vision on the entire map, but forgets the standard path. Oh no. Still gonna get a hatchery. What did his opponent open? This seems like a fairly quick pull here into a gas.
Yeah, gas before pull even.
Oh wow.
He could get speed very fast. I mean, he has the gas for it.
And he is, indeed. Okay, 148, 147 on that speed here for a Fire. As Fire also got a hatchery with this. So hatchery timing's relatively close. And drone count's relatively... He leaves the links at home. There's a defensive pool first.
I doubt it, since he's making a baning nest. But, I mean...
Defensive baning nest?
Defensive baning nest. Foundational is playing gasless up until now, which means that theoretically is perfect against something like this. Now, the thing is, with the extra minutes that he has so far, he's not doing anything. He just has 1 queen. And he's going creep tumor first, with pool first with a queen, which means he's going to be floating money for a while.
Okay, because why is it funny that he went creep tumor first? Just because he won't have enough larva to spend?
I mean, yeah, the entire point of pull first is that you get the queen a little earlier and then you can inject right away. So that way you can spend your money. You can see it now in the bottom of your screen. That, yeah, it's not working out so far for him.
An advanced feature, the bottom of the screen. See, it's not quite going as well. It's indeed going to be an aggressive baning nest with a link flood. These are going to be speed links in a couple of seconds from now. This honestly looks pretty bad here for foundational. I don't really see a way for him to easily hold his natural, although he's positioning his queens on the ramp. Does this defense have potential?
I think so. I mean, he has the creep there, so they can transfuse. That's what the creep tumor first was for. And 2 of the banings already sniped. It's a good start for foundation, I think. He has 3 queens still alive. He even made a spine, which I'm not even sure is necessary. The 1 queen probably could have went somewhere else, where there was a little bit less surface area. Especially if once this queen gets a transfuse, which it did now. I think he's completely fine, and he holds it with flying colors.
Honestly, this defense was pretty nice. Like, had the queens in position, the spine in a relatively intelligent spot as well here. Now, the attack isn't quite over yet, as foundational is tacking to lair behind this. Gets a second spine as backup, as with the overlord that he's using on the other side of the map, he's seeing more and more links flooding across the map. There's only a single queen remaining for that full wall ramp, basically, or ramp wall, whatever you want to call it. The second queen will pop right about now. Pre-splits his links as well. And here we go, another little fight. But this is looking good for a blue Zerg player. Yeah,
really good defense. His build absolutely sucked, but other than that, he's been playing pretty well so far. And until he lost the Zerglings for free. I wonder what he's going to do with the lair, because if he was going Muda, which I kind of assume he is, he should have gotten link speed already. But maybe, I mean, theoretically he could Nydus at this point as well, with the roaches. Really, it's up to him. He can do whatever he wants. He's deciding to go for the 3rd spine.
Not sure if the lair requirement is something that is really needed there. It's going to be Nydus network and infestation pit. So we're either looking at Nydus infestors or swarm host with a Nydus. Honestly, the second one makes more sense, but that isn't a guarantee that that's what's about to happen. So we also see a lair coming out of Fire here, attacking into a Roach War and Evo Chamber. So perhaps a little bit more standard. Fire also managed to snatch the drone lead away from Foundational, as Foundational has mainly been focusing on getting more spines and not so much into drones, despite there being 6 larvae out right now and a crap ton of cash in the bank.
It's because he's supply blocked. He never made an Overlord after the first 30 seconds, where he made 3 right away, which is an issue for him. But yeah, now he realized he's even making a Hydra then, so to wall. I hope for him that this Hydra then is fake. I mean, eventually he can go Swarmhost Nydus into Lurkers, I guess. All of this makes very little sense, to be entirely honest with you, but... oh my god. Oh no, never mind. I thought the other guy was also getting Hydra then. No, but he's also going 2-base layer, also floating a lot of money. And has the Roach Point. So theoretically, I do like Fire's spot way more at this point.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he's up 12 workers, is getting a Spire, while the opponent is going to get Swarmhost with a Nydus. Now, for the people that do not know this, Locust, despite them flying, do not actually attack the air, while Mutas are capable of attacking both ground and air. It is a unit that has multiple uses because of that. While the Swarmhost really is only good for killing ground units. The follow-up is indeed going to be a Lurker then, so your predictions were correct there. But this is going to be 5 Swarmhost into 2 Lurkers. This doesn't have a whole lot of potential, does it?
Well, I mean, on this level, I think anything has potential, to be honest. I mean, the Nydus is gonna go up. Is he gonna unload? He is gonna unload the Swarmhost. Those should be enough to kill the Zerglings. He needs a new Nydus here to get out with these Swarmhosts. And he can use the Locust to protect the Swarmhost. That was quite smart play from Foundation instead of running away with them. He's chilling close to the Nydus Swarm so he can unload more units. Also good play by Fire to split his Zerglings up.
Yeah, and also waiting. Look at that. That was nice movement with those links. Checking if the Locusts are gone. Now sees that the Locusts are gone. Realized that a new Nydus had to be built, or the Swarmhost would end up dying. Actually, the movement out of Fire is pretty good. I also like the general idea out of Fire, Link Bane all in. I don't mind it. And then following it up with a Spire. Does feel like Fire is the more standard player of the two, as Foundational so far is fully walled in on 2 bases. Has started Spore production. Did he scout the Spire? No. You can just feel it. Yeah,
he could feel it. Yeah, he knows his opponent's on 2 base. He's only seen Zerglings so far. What is the only logical conclusion? If your opponent is not going 2 base Foremost, it's Mura.
Yeah, or 2 base Lurker, really.
2 base Lurker.
Or 2 base Infestor.
That's an option, but I mean, Spore Crawlers also do the tech Lurker, so...
That's true. So there's the double uses there.
Also hits Locust, by the way, so...
There's a Lurker with this.
Against all 3 options. There is a Lurker, and there's no detection on the other side. Fire realizes now. Lurker burrows not quite inside the mineral line, and he's focusing the spine, which is probably the worst target at this point.
Or the Extractor, and the spine is collateral. It's one of the 2.
Yeah. I mean, the Locust did manage to take out the Roach Warren, which was not being used anyways. There's 4 queens here. Honestly, if you get Spore Crawlers in the front, I would really like it for Foundational. These queens have so much energy.
Yeah. They have, and they're also using the energy, which is pretty important when you do have it safe. Now, 4 queens are still going to get targeted down at a pretty high pace. Lurker will get shot down as well, as now the supply is heavily favoring Fire here. Foundational, after seeing that there's too many mutas, decides to tech into Hive, most likely for the Viper and Parasitic Bomb. At least that seems to make the most sense. Now, do not forget that Foundational is still stuck pretty much on 2 bases. Does have this full wall with the spines, but actually has no units at home whatsoever. Spores are being constructed. There's only a single queen at home. Now, the Swarm Host Locust Wave is being used to defend against the Lynx, but the real issue here is going to be the mutas, surely.
Yeah, it definitely is. His only anti-air is the one Spore that is inside the mineral line, which means that's the only thing that's covered. Right now, he's making 8 Hydras, but half of them are popping from the natural. So mutas could get on top of them. It's actually fair to do so, though. So, and Fire loses 1 muta for free there. And yeah, I mean, once he has Vipers out, we're looking at 2 base Hydra Viper.
Lurker
Swarm Host. Yeah, I mean, there is no Lurker. He's making the 1 Lurker to prove you right there, but against a 2 base Lingbane Muta. Theoretically, or even base count, Hydra, Lurker, Viper should be the Lingbane Muta. We'll see how it actually plays out, because I'm not an expert in this, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the theory reaches this far. Yeah, the thing is that Fire does have a 3rd base as well, right? So, and also, oh, look at that. pops out a couple of locusts into the main here, foundational that is. We'll take out these spine crawlers first, but that does perhaps give an opportunity later on to go in with a Nydus and a couple of hydras or maybe some more locusts. There's definitely some potential for counterplay. There's a lot of cash in the bank as well for, honestly, both players. I'd love to see a couple of rounds of drones for fire, but it might actually be Foundational who is going to get the lead here in eco, as he's also taking a third base and an ultra cavern.
like the lurkers do counter Lings and Banes very well. I'm not exactly sure what the ultras are for. He's going for a carapace upgrades. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that Foundation is a very tech-heavy player. He's now unloading the swarm. I cannot believe this Overlord stayed alive that put the Nydus down there. Foundation was searching the entire left side map for an Overlord, even though the last Nydus went down on the right side. Like, obviously there's an Overlord there. Either way, he's clearing up the Hydras now. Locust focus firing down the Spire. He gets the Spire. Not even sure Fire was even planning on making more Mutas, since he did also get the Roachborn. I mean, I'm liking it more and more for Foundation here, because he's getting an insane army, tech-wise.
Yeah, the second Lurker is also on the way. Lurkers do trade very well against Lings and Banes. The worker count is now in favor of Foundational, although there's 6 more on the way here for Fire. I think this is the second Viper, no, the third Viper that I see in production. And that's going to be a bunch of parasitic bombs here. His third base does look like it's going to be toast, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But he does have an extra hatch on the top right, so that's fine for him. He can even Nydus workers there.
Watch him Nydus the workers and then Fire look for the aggressive Nydus for the rest of the game. Ooh, Lurker not burrowed yet. Here come the Banes. Nice splits out of these Hydras, or at least running back with 5 of them. Drones are going to get taken out completely, as this hatch is in some trouble as well. Spore barely manages to stay alive, as a crap ton of drones ended up falling here. Mutas coming in for the snipe. Parasitic bombs are available. Oh, Spore plus parasitic bombs. I think this might be too much for the Mutas here.
Yeah, it absolutely is. The parasitic bombs also weren't used all at the same time. It was very important that the one was used later than the other ones. Which meant that the Mutas actually die. If you used all 3 at the same time, which I actually see pro gamers do very often, the Mutas don't die ever, so...
expert play here.
Expert play by Foundation. I mean, I think the way he's using his army is actually quite impressive. He uses transfuses properly. He's using the lurkers properly. I have no clue why he's making ultras, but I'm sure he's going to use those fine as well.
Like tennis plating, I love it. You know what I really kind of regret now? That I don't have the overlay that can see the hotkeys. Because I'm curious if there's anything hotkeyed. It seems like he's sometimes selecting the swarm host.
It is. Yeah, the swarm hosts are hotkeyed, and the vipers are hotkeyed as well.
Separately, right?
Yeah,
and then what about the hydras and the lurkers?
I think... I'm not entirely sure. I'll pay attention. I'll report back.
Okay. This is your task for the rest of the game, while I'm having a good time looking at this Nydus go down. There's a changeling providing the vision for the Nydus in the bottom left. Overlord of Fire is on the way, but don't forget, Fire does not actually have Mutas that can quickly go there and deal with it. So these swarm hosts will be capable of spawning their locust. Let's not forget that Foundational is also the only player that has any type of upgrades in this game, as Foundational has 1-1, while the opponent has absolutely nothing. 1-1 is on the way, but on the way is not quite having it yet. Locust get a couple of drone kills and scout that there's absolutely no drones whatsoever on this third base, which used to be the third base, but is now kind of being abandoned, as we see more and more drones heading over to the fort, which doesn't have gases quite yet.
Yeah, I like that Foundation is actually just making drones off the proxy hatchery. And with the other hatcheries, he's just making army units. A very smart play by him. He's basically just making ultras at this point from the main and natural. I'm not sure why. I'm still not sure why, but I mean, it's only unupgraded against unupgraded Roach Ravager. They should do pretty decently, especially on creep.
Yeah, you also have the Vipers with it, so you can abduct Ravagers in or use Blinding Clouds. There's a couple of lurkers that can add in the defense. There's no seismic spines yet, which I'm a little bit disappointed by. Anabolic Synthesis is about to finish up, as another Nydus will go up here. Fire did spot it immediately, but hasn't really seen it. Oh, here goes an Ultra attacking in. As these roaches do not have any upgrades. Oh my god, this is a massacre.
Yeah, I suppose Ultras actually are quite good against roaches if the roaches are not microed, but theoretically they shouldn't be. Now Foundation is harassing on the other side at the same time. He's gonna get this hatch, and probably most drones with it as well. 2 roaches there at least divert the fire, the attention of the locust. So all the drones get away to the initial 3rd base, and fire is still fine. He has a lot of money in the bank, but I mean, his units are just way worse. He's kind of getting outplayed, to be honest.
Yeah, that really does seem to be the case. Foundational is getting every single unit in the game and shows a good understanding as well of every single unit. You know, you can see that he spent some time on the unit test map with the Viper, with the Ultra, probably wrote down the strengths in his notebook, you know, and then just kind of theory crafted a composition from there on out. You know, Swarmos are good for harassing, the Lurker is good for holding bases, Viper is good against the Muta, and the Ultra is like the final late game boss. It's the Bowser of StarCraft 2. Actually, Bowser is kind of weak, isn't he?
Yeah, just like the Ultra, so it's a good comparison, I think.
Fair analogy. Bowser always looks so strong, but then when you're Mario, you jump on him 3 times and he dies. It's a little bit disappointing, I feel like. He's definitely an overrated supervillain.
Overrated super... Depends a little bit. I feel like you haven't played many Mario games. I don't think you're the fair judge of this. You don't usually jump 3 times on Bowser. It's the mini Bowsers that you jump 3 times on.
I'm sorry then. If there's any big Mario fans, I apologize for calling Bowser a failed supervillain. The Ultras are actually doing quite a decent job as they have managed to take out a hatchery and pushing everything back. I feel like Foundational is winning this pretty hard. Blinding Cloud being used on the Ultras as well as on the Spine. The Spine is still attacking though. Yeah. Wait, it has melee range?
What? Of course. Spines can attack your Zealots, can't they?
Yeah, but I just didn't think... I still thought that Blinding Cloud would work. For some
it does
reason.
work, but it was close enough.
Ah.
Marines also can attack when they're blinding
Really?
clouded.
Hey,
Against
did
units
you
that are
learn?
right. Planetaries as well.
That's ridiculous.
Wait, you didn't know that?
I have no clue.
Your Immortals, if they're blinding clouded, I'm technically with an Ultra.
Once my Immortals are
attacks.
Blinding Cloud, I usually already pressed F10 because I'm out of the game. That's a bad situation. If any spellcaster gets close enough to touch my Immortals, it's usually over. Like, my Immortals are supposed to be 5 range behind my Templar. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's how Blinding Cloud works. They go
Alright.
to melee range.
You live, you learn. Defensively, Foundational looks pretty strong. Are the Swarm hosts still alive, by the way? Yeah, I think they're stuck in the Nydus somewhere, no?
Yeah, I mean, there's no Nydus active right now because, to be honest, he's just owning the army fight at this point. Fire is finally getting his 2-2 upgrades up. They're almost done, but he's making Roach Ravager against Hydra, Ultra, Lurker, Viper, and he's down in supply. So it's gonna be an uphill battle to say the very least. Do you think you would win from this position? I know you made a YouTube show at some point.
I think I don't know. If I get to play against Foundation, I don't think so. This guy has good army control. He understands what needs to be done. Like, what really is there? I don't think I could, actually. Like, this looks proper bad. I guess 2-2 upgrades is decent, and you can micro that a bunch, but there's no hive either. This seems freaking hard.
It seems very hard, yeah, I agree. I think you have to counterattack and hope the other guy messes up and goes home.
Yeah.
And then once you bought time, I guess there's always a way.
Yeah, there is a Spire, though, so maybe somehow, some way with... Nah, I mean, there's too many Hydras as well. There's still the Parasitic Bomb availability as well. Ultras are actually being kited, so some nice control out of fire, but it's simply just not going to be enough here, I think, as there's plenty of cash in the bank for Foundational. Proxy base really paying off here. It felt like for a while Fire had the map control, and if he knew there was a base in that top right, he might have been capable of killing it. GG gets called. Foundational also leaves, and that is going to be it. Wow. Another loss that was submitted, by the way. Look at that.
Oh, Fire was the one that submitted it?
Yeah. That's really crazy. I also didn't know, but I see that Fire has left the game, so I assume he's the one that submitted it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, server is NA, submitter is the Red Zerg. Indeed. Man, that's our second loss. Look at people actually, you know, being influenced by us. That's crazy.
That is very cool. All
right. Time for my favorite part, and that's the guessing. Is it my turn to go first or your turn?
It's your turn to go first. Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to say because I feel like the moment you know how to execute a somewhat decent Link Banal in, your MMR is going to be pretty high. There were some tricks here which made the game look lower level, but I think these are really just tricks, like the proxy base and then the weird playstyle. I think lower level players really struggle with weird things. You know, Fire is a solid all-inner, standard all-inner, their default all-inner. If the opponent had followed this up with roaches, this would have been a free win. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is 3.8k MMR. 3.8k.
3.8k.
Yeah, 3.8.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say on Europe this wouldn't even be 3k. But every single time we've had NA players, the MMR was like 1,000 more than I actually thought. So, okay, I'm gonna go. You said 3.8. It can't be. I'm going 3.4.
3.4. I'm opening as we speak.
There's actually no way.
The submitter was Wind, the server was NA, and the MMR was 3,761.
What? There's no way.
Yeah.
That's high diamond, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fairly, it's really high
No,
diamond.
I thought about this as well. I was like, okay, if you're in platinum or in gold, like you're probably gonna die to the Link Bane Island because that build order was good. But the other guy was AFK, then he made 2 overlords. And he made a pool. He was floating 600 minerals.
I think the opener is irrelevant, honestly. It's about concepts here, you know?
I think it's very
was
relevant.
so good. It doesn't matter. The opener is irrelevant. The concept of all-inning into 2-base fire, like that's such a powerful concept. It kills any standard Roach player that doesn't know what they're doing. Literally every standard Roach player would die. The only reason Foundational survived is because he was playing 2-base Swarm Host. Against all odds, he survived. Like this was a crazy hold.
If Foundational was just Link flooded, like a proper Link flood, he would always die. And I figured there's a lot more of that kind of stuff because his opening has to matter as well in his MMR, right?
It doesn't. It's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant. I think you're thinking too much about efficiencies. This is about concept still. And these concepts, they were high tier out of fire. And I smelled it. I noticed it. Genius real recognizes real. Genius recognizes genius. This guy is a true future. All right. Another big win for me here. As you get completely blasted out of the water, Lambo. Last week we said that that's 3 times in a row, but then I checked the week before, and you were actually right. So it's now 2 weeks in a row that I was correct, and you were wrong. That's live. We'll be back next week here with another Noobs in Disguise. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.